Creek, and today I'm going to be putting together this cute gingerbread set. It is a 5-piece gingerbread plush set with a candy cane sign. Isn't that cute? We got some cute ribbons to go with it. So a 2.5-inch candy cane and a 1.5-inch gingerbread with candy canes. We are also going to be using this beautiful snowdrift mesh and the large board. So let's get started. So first thing we want to do is we want to preload our large board. And I'm going to be using row 2, row 3, and row 4 for this project. On row 2, I have preloaded every other hole with a zip tie closed. So row 2, you can see the 2 right here on the board. So I put a zip tie here, skip, zip tie, skip, zip tie, skip. All the way around row 2. Row 3, we preloaded the normal holes, and there's 8 of them. Row 4 is going to also be preloaded. And if you don't know what preload is we're going down the hole, one hole, back up the other with the tail of the zip tie, and doing it up until you hear that click, okay? Again, down and up. You'll hear that clicking sound and it locks. And we have one more here on row 4 and our board will be ready to go. Okay? So when you flip it over, you will see every other hole on row 2 done, all the holes, the double holes on row 3 done, and all of them on row 4. Alrighty, now we're going to cut our mesh. We need 24 pieces of this mesh at 14 inches long. So you can use a cutting mat, you can use, if you have a ruler, if you only have a ruler, one of the fabric rulers, you can put it across and measure at 14 inches and cut it with your scissors. You can wrap it around a piece of cardboard. If you don't have, so cut a piece of cardboard at 14 inches and wrap a couple pieces of your mesh around the cardboard and cut it at the ends. But if you have a cutting mat, it's the easiest way to do. So I'm going to cut it at 28 and 14. So we got 14-inch pieces. We need 24 of them. So you're going to pretty much cut the whole roll at 14 inches. Okay? One more. And it does not have to be wood burned or heat sealed. We are not going to see the actual edge of our mesh with this fold, okay? All right, so we got our mesh done. Now we need to cut our ribbons for our ribbon tails. And I'm going to cut 16. We're going to need 16 of the 2.5-inch at 14 inches. And 16 pieces of the 1.5-inch at 14 inches. Now, again, there's different ways you can cut your ribbon. You can put it on your cutting mat and cut it at 14 inches. You can use your Measure Buddy if you have a Measure Buddy. This is our tool for measuring all kinds of stuff, ribbons. You could use this for your mesh to wrap it around 14 inches. It measures from 8 inches and increments of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it locks in place as you're pulling it out. So arm 1 goes out to 14, arm 2 goes out all the way to 20. We are going to do 14-inch pieces. and we need to do 16 of them. I have some already done, but I'm going to do 4 right now. So you take your ribbon, just hold it down, and we're just going to wrap it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Cut it off the roll. And once you cut it off the roll, line it up just like that. And we're going to fold it over lengthwise. Okay, and I have the edge on the line here. I'm going to put my thumb about 1 inch down. And this is just to give me the same V or dovetailed right in the center. It gives you the exact same angle if you kind of measure it. Okay, again, I'm putting my thumb about the 1 inch, cutting from the folded to the corner, outside corner, and there we go. We got 4 pieces of our ribbon tails. I'm going to fold these in half, and then we'll cut some of the 1.5 inch. And you're going to have to put your glue gun on now because we are going to put our cable mount soon on the back of our sign. All right, so there's the 2.5 inch. So we're going to do the same thing for the 1.5 inch. We need 16. I've already cut some, so I'm going to just cut 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide it off. Fold it lengthwise, and again we're going to cut from the folded to the corner, and on the other side as well. And we got 4 single pieces again. Okay, we're going to fold those in half. Just to get them ready to be used. Okay, now you're going to take 8 of the 2.5 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 2.5 inch. And 8 of the 1.5 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to make little packets. I call them packets with them. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your 2.5 inch and tuck your 1.5 inch in to your packet, to your 2.5 inch. It makes a little packet. I like to have everything prepared before I start making my wreath. Alrighty. So now we're going to take our board that we preload. Oh, nope. We're going to put our cable mount on our sign. So I did already cut off the jute string that was on the sign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cable mount right in the middle of this sign. So what you're going to do is take a cable mount and we're going to peel this rubber backing. So first there's a paper and this is sticky, but over time this padded cable mount, this padded stuff will let go. So we like to peel that back. So we just have the plastic. Alrighty. Now if you have a industrial stapler that has 1/8 inch staples, you can even staple your pipe cleaner to the thing. I just sometimes don't like stapling because sometimes, you know, the staple may come through just a little bit and create some bumps in the front. So I use the cable mounts. So you just put your pipe cleaner through the center of the mount. Okay, and this sign is, let's see, this sign is 16 inches. So I am going to put my cable mount right at the 8-inch mark. So on the back of my cable mount, I'm going to use a little bit of E6000. Now this is a Christmas one, so you may not need a E6000. You could just use just hot glue. I use the Gorilla Glue sticks. So I'm just going to use some hot glue. So go around all 4 edges and the center with your hot glue. And I'm going to put it right on the 8-inch mark here in the center. Just like that. Okay, so our sign is ready to go. I'm going to put it to the side and let it dry. And we will be using it after we get the wreath complete. Okay, so now we're taking our preloaded boards, and what you're going to do is get one of your packets together. I'm going to use a clothespin too. I like to use clothespins to help me with holding our mesh and stuff. Okay, so you have this 14-inch piece of mesh. We are going to use this 14-inch piece curl up. Lolly, can you go upstairs and shut the door to the basement so I don't hear barking? I'm trying to do a video. I'm trying to record a video. Thank you. Okay, you have your 14-inch piece, and we're going to have the serged edges on the right and left side of our elongated piece, and then when you let go, it curls up. This is what we want to use, curl up. And what you're going to do is take the bottom, so this is the cut edge, take the bottom, bring it up to about the center, right there. Take the top, bring it down just over the bottom seam there that you did, and we're making kind of an envelope, and you're going to pinch it right down the middle. Okay, so this is what you got, and we're going to flip it over because we want these cut edges on the bottom so we do not see them. I'm going to flip them up now. So there's our bow. I like to just flip it up a bit so both of these ruffle formations are even, and then you're going to just pinch this center of them together like that. And I put this, I call it the nub, I put it into the zip tie, and I'm going to put my clothespin just on it, just to hold it there while I get my ribbon ready. So now I'm going to take my ribbon packet that I pre-folded, and I like to step my ribbon. So I'm going to take the 1.5 inch and just bring it up to the bottom of it. The bottom seam of my ribbon is going right across the middle of my 2.5 inch, like that. And the 2 center folds are lined up. I'm going to pinch these together like this. Alrighty. And then I'm going to flip them up. All right, and we're looking to make sure that both sides are equal. You can adjust your lengths and stuff just by moving the pleat in the center. Okay, so obviously you had it like this, and this side's not even, so we're gonna move it around until you have it that it's even. And now pinch where you folded, and I'm gonna put this into my zip tie as well, like that, and pull tight. And when you step it like that, whatever ribbon you had going along the top will be in the center. So you won't have to pull them around and remember, okay, which one did I put in the center? The 2.5 or the 1.5? Okay, so let's do that again. Get your mesh. Curl up. Serge edges on the right and left. Fold the bottom up. Fold the top down, making it like an envelope. Pinch right in the middle, and this is the snowdrift mesh, so you can actually just pinch down the middle snowdrift. Flip it over, and we're going to flip it up to make sure each side is even. Put it in your zip tie. Put your clothespin on it. Again, take one of your packets. Now, if you want to alternate, so instead of always having the 1.5 inch in the center, you can alternate. So you could have, if you put the 1.5 inch down at the bottom, so the top of your 1.5 inch is running through the middle. Okay, just like that. And pinch up the middle, just like that. And flip up. Now we have the 2.5 inch in the center, and the 1.5 inch is on the outside. So to mix it up, you can do that every other. So the next one we'll do the 1.5 inch at the top. And once you get your ribbon in, pull that zip tie tight. And you can either cut your zip tie tails off as you're going, like that, or just wait till you're finished all of row 2. And clip them all off at once. So I am going to put the gingerbread again, because we put the 2.5 inch in the center here. So next one I'm going to put the gingerbread in the center. Again, put your 1.5 inch will be on top, just like that. Pinch it in the center, flip it up, and there we got our gingerbread 1.5 inch ribbon in the center. So I'm just going to alternate all the way around doing the exact same thing. Okay, row 2 is done. We are going to work on row 3. Now, because we have a big sign and a plush 3-piece or 5-piece attachment to put on this, I'm going to save ribbon by only putting 1 piece of ribbon into each zip tie. So I'm going to alternate between the 1.5 and then the next one will be the 2.5, 1.5, 2.5, all the way around row 3. And we're going to do exact same fold as we did on row 2. So you're going to take your same fold, put it into your zip tie. I'm putting clothespin. I'll start with the 2.5 inch. Just pinch it up the center, flip it up. Pull tight. And then we'll go to the next one, and it's going to be a 1.5 inch. Okay, we are done row 3. We're going to do row 4. We're going to do exactly the same. 1 ribbon piece each. Okay, so we are done the base of our wreath. We'll fix all the tails after we're completely done because they're going to fold up when we are reaching across to put our stuff in. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sign. First, we're going to find where the top is. So you're going to turn it over. We've got still a nice clean back. And find your 2 holes that are side by side on row 1, and they're divoted in. Those are your hanging holes. We are going to put a zip tie through there. Just lock it, and then cut the tail off, and we made a hanger so you can hang your wreath, okay? And then these two holes right in the center of our board is where our sign, the ends of our pipe cleaners will be going into. So put I have the top up here. I'm just going to take the two ends and go down right down the center of the board. Now this will keep the sign on, but you can also use a little bit of hot glue once we're done under the sign as well. So I'm going to pull some of the ribbons will be hidden because of the sign, but you can still pull them all out so we can see them, just like that. Alrighty, so this is what we got so far. Super cute, right? I don't have the sign super tight right now, just in case I need to adjust it or anything. Okay, so it's right in the center. Actually, this is a really cute wreath right by itself, without even the gingerbread, with all this candy ribbon and gingerbread ribbon. However, we are going to put the attachment on. Okay, so I have the head, we have legs, and we have hands. Okay, I added a cute little bow to the top of my gingy head. It's just a simple, small little bow. It's a 3-inch bow loops, and then 3-inch tail, and I just put it at the side of her head. Okay, so I'm gonna she's obviously gonna go on the top of our wreath. Now the back of it, there is 3 wires. I took these 2 wires out. I don't think they're needed. I'm going to be using the top wire and wiring it onto the board. And then the bottom, I'm just going to use a bit of glue, because as long as it's secured at one part, you're good. You're good to go. So it's easy if you untwist the wires, you can pull them straight out of the fabric. I'm just giving this one a twist so it's a little bit twisted in the fabric here. There we go. And these wires are not the friendliest, so take your time doing this. And I'm going to show you, I'll flip it over, where we're going to go with the top of her head is right below the hanging hole. There's 2 holes right here that have no zip tie. That is where the 2 pieces of wire for the top of her head are going to go. Okay, right here. So you're going to flip it over, and all I'm going to do is kind of separate. There they are. Just separate the ribbon and the mesh, and take the 2 end wires and go down each hole. Now it's much easier when you lift the board up, obviously, so the wire isn't hitting the table, or slide it off the table. Just like that. Make sure she's straight. And before I bring her right down, I'm making sure my ribbons and everything are in place and not stuck under her. There we go. So just pull the wire down just a bit till it's, hitting the mesh and the ribbons. Okay, there it is right there. I'm going to give it a twist. Now I'm not going to cut these wires off until I'm absolutely sure that's exactly where I want it. Same with the sign pipe cleaners. We'll clean those up at the end when we have everything in place. Now I'm going to add a bit of hot glue just underneath, right here under her chin. And we'll make sure all these ribbons are down. So it's just, her head is just above the sign here. So I'll I'll do that after I get her hands on. Okay. Her feet. We're going to put her feet on next. And there, the feet are the ones that look like they have toes. So make sure that the feet are put on properly. I guess the toes would be going out like this, right? And these wires are not the friendliest. And I'm going to cut them down some. They're way, way, way too long. So just cut these down. And don't pull too hard because they are wired inside as well there. And you don't want to pull the wire all the way out. Not that we need to position their feet or anything, but. Okay, so where I'm going to put the legs, when you flip your board over, this is the center right here. So where I'm going to put her legs is I'm going to go down these 2 holes for the one leg and these 2 holes for the other leg, and leaving the center here blank. So right here and right here. And that one's easy to find because there is a zip tie there already with ribbons on it. So you're just going to go right over top of the zip tie and down through the holes. Again, this wire is really not the friendliest, but that's okay. Do your best. I'm going to pull it and just give it a twist. Okay, and there's one. So it looks like it's coming out of the wreath here, her little feet, which is amazing. We'll put the other one on. So again, there's our center holes. You can see there's nothing there. So we're just going to go over top of the holes on row 2 that they already have mesh and a zip tie and ribbon there. You're just going to go down. Again, we'll have a little fight with the wire and give it a twist. Straighten out your ribbons in there. Pull these down so it looks like her legs are coming out of the wreath. It's super cute. Oh, that's going to turn out adorbs. I think I have her head just a little too tight. I'm just going to loosen it a bit. The wire, there we go. There, perfect. Oh my gosh, she's going to be so cute. So we are going to glue her down. So her head's just sitting above the candy cane sign. Now the arms. I was struggling with the arms because when you wire them in, they kind of look funny because the hands stick out. So what I did is I cut the wire off, right off, and you can see I've done it a few times trying to figure out how I want this hands. And I'm thinking I was just going to glue them. Just one right there. So we would cut the wire off and I'm going to glue the bottom of this just like that and then glue wherever her hand is hitting the sign. So we don't want to cover the sign, it just to look like she's holding it. Here's the other one. like that. Now one of her hands is on this set. One is pointed, one is not. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And there, I think that's where I'm going to put them right there. You can try and wire them on to the board. Like I said, the wire is not the friendliest wire because it is kind of stiff and thick, and so I just found, I think just gluing, taking the wire right off and just gluing is the best idea. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to set my hand right down. So we got ribbons and mesh and everything. So it does have something to glue on. And I'm just going to zoom down for you guys. So right in between where this is, I'm just going to set it right down. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to glue where her hand is actually touching the sign. So hot glue right here, and then just hold it like that. And trust me, I tried wiring them and everything. It's really difficult, especially with a 5-piece set. And it kind of looks funny because you don't, and when you wire them, you don't get to see this cute little print there on her arm. So like just like that. So I'm just kind of putting the glue, getting her top of her hand glued to the sign. And then we'll do the other side as well. And then we'll do the bottom of the hand. And then we'll do her face and we're done. I'm just going to move these ribbons up over top of her leg here, because they are under her leg and we want to see these cute ribbons. There we go. So we will have to fix all our ribbon tails, but that's the easiest part. Okay, let's do her other side. So I think I'll just have her, because I don't want to lose the point of the arrow, so I'm just gonna, see, I already glued a few times, like I said. Just trim some of this. I pulled it off, put it on, pulled it off, till I figured out where I actually liked it. So where it's touching the sign, might be even easier just to put the glue on the sign and push the hand. And just hold it to make sure it's in its spot that it needs to be. Now these are really lightweight, so hot glue shouldn't be a problem. Okay. We are almost done. We are almost done. Okay, I'm going to flip over to the other hand. This is really good on there. Now I'm going to just push the hand up and I'm going to put some glue right underneath, going right across the bottom and push it down. So it is being hot glued onto the mesh and the ribbons. There, that, and you can see the trim of her hand. I like that so much better. Yes, perfect. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I could probably put a little bit more glue like that. And again, I'm going to lift it up and just run glue right at the bottom of her hand. Oh, shoot. Like that. And then push it down so it's hitting the mesh and the ribbon. I'm going to hold that down a bit. Pull some of these tails out straight now. And then we'll just glue her head and we'll be done. And she is super, super cute. I really love the little bow. I used the 1.5 inch Gingy ribbon to do her bow. That's on there pretty good. Now don't forget, this is just decor, so it's not literally holding anything because our sign is on there. Actually, it's on there pretty good. And now I'm just going to lift her head up. And you can see we're going to glue right here. So I'll just lift her head up, run some glue. And just bring it back down. And we'll just hold it there for a second. So her head is attached. It's just, I just used the one wire. So much easier. And then just a little bit of glue. Just hold it down. Lift her up a little if you want to put a little bit more, just to be sure. You can lift up the sides. Alrighty. Okay, so once your gingerbread is in all the spaces that you wanted, I added this little bow here because I had made a bow to put on her head, but I made it a little too big. So instead of throwing it away, I just added it with just some hot glue onto the ribbons right below the sign here, and it matches the little bow on her head. Now what we're going to do is we are going to finish the back of this wreath. So everything is in place where I want it. So I'm going to start cleaning up the back. I'm going to go down. Okay. These more thicker ribbons. It's going to be a little challenging, but we're going to put these down the holes too. So just give it a snip and work it back down the hole as best you can. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Okay, so that's the top of her head. And then we'll have to do her legs here. Now I'm going to do it a little bit tighter. Okay, and then again, we're going to go back down the hole as best we can. This is much thicker than a pipe cleaner, so you may have to use a few tools if you have to. Bang that. So what I usually do when I do use an attachment like this with the thick wire, I will make a glue bumper on the back. Because you really don't want it to scratch your door or anybody else's door. So once it is down, and then I'm going to just go over top with some hot glue, just over top of these wire, to kind of make a bumper, so that it's not going to, just like that, and just let it dry. When you do the bumper, once it dries, it feels like rubber. Okay, that's just to protect the door. Just like that. Okay, we'll let that dry. And then there's our wreath. She is super adorable. Super, super adorable. Okay, this one gave me a run for my money, but it did turn out super, super cute. If you are struggling, just take a step back, take a break, and then come back and continue. The wreath itself is easy, very easy to make. The attachments, they're a little tricky and challenging. Just do a little at a time. so you can get it right. Alrighty? Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.